Austral Wheelrace combined with the Australian Madison Championships for the men and the women. And we go straight into the Keirin racing to get the afternoon program or the evening program underway. This is the UCI men's Keirin race for the 7th to 12th placings. The riders that didn't get themselves into the big final: Finn Carpenter, Ko Lart, Wing King Lai from Hong Kong, Suchon Mok also from Hong Kong, the third rider from Hong Kong, Chuik Hai To, and also Max Liebknecht from South Australia. He's the big man right at the very back, Max Liebknecht. So three riders from Hong Kong, Ko Lart from New Zealand, and also Cockburn BMX rider Finn Carpenter. We'll see how Finn can go. Coming around to get 4 laps to go. Bike will come off the next time and then they'll be unleashed for the final 3 laps. Ko Lart leads them through. Great to see so many international riders here in Melbourne for the Quest Ivanhoe Austral Wheelrace Carnival. And the bike now swings off. Lart goes through, sitting behind him Chuik Hai To from Hong Kong, and you can see the gaps really starting to open up. This is for 7th to 12th placings, the first race in what's going to be a festival of Keirins before we get into the final of the Austral Wheelrace for the men and the women, and then the Madison Championships of Australia. Big gaps. Look at this, really blown up. They'll come around to get the bell this time, and Ko Lart has really put everybody under pressure. He wants this 7th place. Just getting up to the back of him now is Chuik Hai To. And a real coming together down the back straight. Lart starting to flounder a little bit. He'll go back into 4th place as they come through. So claiming 7th for getting the win here is Hai To from Hong Kong. So a comfortable win for him in the end. Massive gear on the bike. You can just see the very low cadence. First race of the Quest Ivanhoe 127th Austral Wheelrace Carnival here tonight has been run and won. 7th place going to Hong Kong. And now about to come onto the track are the riders racing 1st to 6th. This is the big UCI men's Keirin final. It's only moments ago that we did have the heats, the conclusion of the heats of the Austral Wheelrace, so we won't be too far away from getting through the Keirins and then into the finals of the Austral Wheelrace. Such a prestigious event. So Byron Davies and Ryan Elliott, two very rapid Queenslanders lining up here for the men's Keirin final, up against Sam Gallagher. Rides for the Blackburn Cycling Club, have been putting this event on here today. Melbourne rider. Daniel Barber from Dubbo. And another rider from Hong Kong, Sun Yo Hung. And also Minato Nakasai from Japan. Nakaishi down the bottom of the track, being held up by the Wimmera Wonder, Jason Niblett from Horsham, being a long-time coach of the Japanese Federation now, and a very successful Paris Olympic campaign. Right beside him, his old teammate, multiple world champion Shane Kelly, looking after Sam Gallagher. Big man Daniel Barber from New South Wales in the middle. And the two Queenslanders. As they roll off, you'll see of the two Queenslanders, Ryan Elliott, slightly smaller in stature compared to the big man Byron Davies, just in front of him. And Sun Ho Yong from Hong Kong in the light blue colours, making up the 6th riders behind the bike. 5 laps to go. The final, the UCI men's Keirin here at Northcote, the Darebin International Sports Complex. We are in the suburb of Northcote, and this facility itself, wonderful facility, built right on the very spot of the old outdoor track that did host the Austral Wheelrace a number of times. Gallagher, second position, looking over the shoulder now. Gaps starting to open up a little bit as they give themselves a little bit of leeway in case a rider does try and come from behind, and the bike comes off. 3 laps to go. Nakashi from Japan, slow speed as they go down the back straight, waiting for someone to move. Gallagher, head on a swivel as he's looking over the shoulder. 2 laps to go as they come through. Nakashi leads the way now, needs a little bit more tempo. Everybody seemingly willing to just follow the wheel in front of them. And Minato Nakashi really starting to build up the pace now. The bell this time. Can he lead all the way since the bike has come off? Gallagher now in the slipstream, coming at the back of the Japanese rider. Barber 3 wide down the back straight. Byron Davies just ahead of Elliott. Nowhere to go for them. And over the top, doesn't quite get there. Barber was coming home, but what a fantastic ride there from Minato Nakashi from Japan. 3 laps on the front. Nobody wanted to take him on until the last lap. By then it was too late. The Japanese rider, very skillful in Kirin racing. And he comes away with the UCI Men's Kirin win here in Darebin. Really solid ride there from Minato. He'll be pleased with that, as will his coach, Jason Niblett. Sam Gallagher didn't do anything wrong, just didn't have the legs to come over the top of Minato at the end. And really promising to see the closing speed of Daniel Barber, the big man in the New South Wales Institute of Sport colours from Dubbo. Over the top for second, Gallagher in third. Long way around the outside, but close for Barber, almost got there. Not today. Minato Nakashi gets his Barber finishing down the finishing straight really quickly over the top of Gallagher. Elliott trying to squeeze through underneath. And the 2 Queenslanders bookending the top 3 riders there, top and bottom of the track. On to the UCI Women's Kirin 7th to 12th final now. So as I mentioned, there is a festival of Kirins to get the evening underway here before we get into the scratch races and then into the finals of the Kirins and then the Australian Madison Championships. Danica Blinko from Balmoral Cycling Club. Sophie Watts also from Balmoral. And then from Central Coast Cycling Club, riding for New South Wales, Lilia Tatarinov. We have Lauren Perry, Tasmanian, sitting in second position as they go down the back straight. And in the light blue colours again from Hong Kong, Cho Yu Yang. Great to see Anthony Peden bringing his riders from Hong Kong out here for the competition. Just behind her is Tatarinov in the orange and blue colours. Motorbike comes off this time. 3 laps to go. Blinko leads the way. Sophie Watts, the second of the 2 Queenslanders, in 6th position. Lauren Perry giving herself a little bit of room to move. 2 laps to go now. Blinko still leads through. Then it's Perry. Jung from Hong Kong, first real move starting to come though. Sophie de Vries. Blinko slowly putting the accelerator down into the final lap. The race for 7th place here in the UCI Women's Kirin competition. Lauren Perry now into the slipstream. She comes up onto the back wheel of Blinko, fighting round the outside. She will get there just as Lauren Perry claims 7th in the Women's Kirin for getting the win there. Another solid ride from the rider on the front though, Danica Blinko. Inspired by the race we just saw from the Japanese rider Nakaishi. But Lauren Perry claims 7th place. The benefits of drawing position number 2. Didn't have to come from too far back, timed it perfectly into the slipstream around the final bend. So good tactical riding there from Lauren Perry. Women's Keirin final now coming up. And this is very much an international affair. Alessia McCaig from Bendigo in Victoria, just up the road. And then from New Zealand, Olivia King. Hong Kong, Su Wing Ning. Japan also, Naoya Obara. Second Japanese rider, Hiraku Nakazawa. And across from Perth is Christine Perkins. So 2 Australians, New Zealander, 2 Japanese riders, and 1 from Hong Kong. So Alessia McCaig has drawn position number 1 here for the UCI Women's Keirin final. Bike is on its way. 6 laps of the track, 3 behind the motorcycle as Alessia McCaig rolls off comfortably, drops in behind the bike. Christine Perkins in the black colours, black and green helmet in second position. Great to see Christine back on the Velodrome. Saw her at the National Championships earlier this year, and has had a number of years away from cycling, but very much a fitness enthusiast. Has stayed very fit, just getting her track legs back though now. Olivia King from Hamilton Wheelers, the New Zealander, in the light blue colours in third position. And then the slightly darker blue is Zi Wing Ni from Hong Kong. And then the 2 Japanese riders, Nakazawa and Obara. It's Nakazawa in second last position, so the slightly taller of the 2 Japanese riders, and Obara in 6th position at the very back. Trying to look at something that may be able to give you an indication of the difference between them. Other than their height, everything else on the bikes and the shoes, the helmets are absolutely identical. Bikers off. McCaig down the back straight. Enjoyed riding her first Elite World Championships this year. Only a couple of months ago, came away with a bronze medal in the women's team sprint. And McCaig now goes into 2 laps to go. And she's being challenged though. Olivia King over the top. And also Nakazawa. And both Japanese riders going right round the outside. Shoulder to shoulder as they go into the final lap here. Fighting down the back straight. I say we didn't hear the bell, but they're coming up to the finish now, and it is Nakazawa that holds on for the win. Really strong ride from her, ahead of Obara and Olivia King from New Zealand in third. So really strong riding again with the 2 Japanese riders, Nakazawa and Obara. They have such a depth of talents in Keirin racing in Japan, of course. There are 3,000 Keirin riders, registered Keirin riders in the professional Keirin scene in Japan. So plenty of raw talent. They had great success at the Paris Olympic Games. Multiple medals, multiple gold medals for Japan. They were really celebrating after the World Championships, also great success. And also here in Melbourne. The next generation will be coming onto the track now for the UCI Junior 19 men's Kirin race for 7th to 12th. Miles Prina from New Zealand, Po Ling Ning from Hong Kong, Patrick May from Lidcombe in South Wales, also Alex Schuler, Ryan Hansen coming across the ditch as well from New Zealand, and from just up the road in Wangaratta, Ruben Smith. I can tell you the Velodrome, or the bike track up in Wangaratta, very different to what we're on here at the Darebin International Sports Centre. It's about 488 metres around, almost dead flat. So Ruben Smith, I'm sure he's spending a lot of time up and down the Hume Highway from Wangaratta down to Melbourne to train on this particular velodrome. Po Li Ning from Hong Kong. Tiny stature and tucked down behind the bike. Alex Schuler in the black and white colours in second position. Then it's Patrick May. So the two riders in dark black. Miles Prina is the second of those two in the black colours. The skinnier, much leaner looking rider. First to move though, the bike's still there, but Ruben Smith in the red and black colours just moves up a little bit, goes around the outside of Patrick May. Well, Miles Prina it was, on the inside at the back in the black colours. And the bike off this time, out of the saddle for Po Li Ning from Hong Kong. Bit of a move now, starting to come from behind. Really bunched up here. The under-19s. This is the race for 7th place for the junior men. And Alex Schuler, first man to really make a move here. Patrick May trying to match him. And we can see the rider from Hong Kong getting squeezed out on the inside. Big move now from Ruben Smith in the red and black colours. Hung out to dry a little bit though, 3 wide around the bend as they go down the back straight into the final bend. Fighting on the inside, Schuler trying to hold on here. Patrick May trying to come over the top, but Schuler will get there. Solid ride. He picks up 7th in the under-19 men's Kirin. So a top 3 result in this race. 9th place, I think, maybe for Ruben Smith. Under-19s, but they're big lads, some of these guys. The final coming up now for the UCI Junior 19 men's Kirin. Japan again represented, bringing some youth over here as well as the elite riders. We know to expect a lot from the Japanese. Kanata Takahashi from Japan, the last rider to come onto the line right there in the middle. So Mitchell Louis from Balmoral Cycling Club, Noah Mason from Central Coast, Takahashi in the middle, Xavier Bland from Orange, we had Dubbo represented, now we have the town of Orange, not too far away from Dubbo. Tate Ryan from Port Adelaide Cycling Club, now he is an absolute superstar in the making, under-19 world champion. And from New Zealand, Teo Choi. See the multi-coloured skin suit, second position is Teo Choi from New Zealand. It'll be Noah Mason onto the back of the motorcycle in the orange and blue colours. Then Choi, then it's Tate Ryan. kilometre world champion, back to back. Won 2 years in a row. Super fast young man. He's in the red and blue colours of the South Australian Sports Institute. Leaving a little bit of a gap there is Takahashi in Japan. Xavier Bland, rider just behind him in the blue and black colours. And Mitchell Louis from Balmoral in the Queensland colours, sitting at the back. 4 laps to go. Bike comes off next time. Exit stage left, and Mason leads the way. Choi in second position. Gap is opening up. This could be dangerous. He's out of the slipstream here. So Mason, if he puts the pedal to the metal here, he might be able to get a winning margin. 2 laps to go, and he's now realised what the gap was. So Mason starts to go. Choi chasing him. Tate Ryan closing in on both of them, and he has Takahashi right hard on the wheel in 4th position. They get the bell this time. And Teo Choi straight over the top of Mason. Ryan chasing him, and Takahashi hard on the wheel, but nowhere to go for now. 3 wide, can he do it? He can't. It's Tate Ryan that cannot get there either, because out in front, Teo Choi from New Zealand gets the job done. Great sprinting from the under-19s here. He committed early and had the strength to hold on, and he held off Tate Ryan and Kanata Takahashi, 2 very rapid riders. So that was a solid performance. Great sprinting there from Teo Choi. I thought Tate might have had enough there to get over the top. Just shows you how strong Choi is to hold off the world kilometre time trial champion for this category, the under-19s. You can see the delight. Well done, great sprinting there. Good length in that sprint to hold on, keep the speed down that finishing straight. Teo Choi. Of course, New Zealand sprinting, very rich history as well. Men's team sprint for a number of years, world champions, and in the top 3 for quite a while. Very, very strong indeed. So they're just starting to rebuild on the men's side. The women's side, well, they've been sensational. Medalists at the World and at the Olympic the Games this year. So the women's sprinting in New Zealand has taken over somewhat from the men. Very much dominated the last sort of 15, 20 years by the men's program, and the women now holding their own very much so. So the final now for the under-19 women's Kirin. Ella Liang from Queensland, Balmoral, very well represented, also with Emma Stevens, great club up there. Ebony Robinson from Bathurst. So Dubbo, Orange and Bathurst. We're getting all of the country towns in New South Wales represented here in the Austral night. Hayley Jack from Bendigo and District Cycling Club, my club up the road. Natasha Sitsky from Canberra, and then April Catt from South Australia, Norwood Cycling Club. Oh, Madison Smith. We have a change on the program here. Madison Smith comes in, and that's her right behind the bike. Oh, my apologies, actually. I slipped across. This is the race for 7th to 12th, not the one for 1st to 6th. That's up next. Alana Lake, Hope Hartney, Caitlin Kelly, Madison Smith, aforementioned from the Gold Coast, and Milan Bradshaw and Emily Watch. So it is Madison Smith on the front. 4 laps to go. Right behind her is Milan Bradshaw in the black colours. UCI Under-19 Junior Women's Kirin race for 7th to 12th placings. Bike has come off. And Caitlin Kelly, G4 Cycling Performance Hub, goes to the front. Boxed in underneath now, Smith from the Gold Coast Club in the bluish colours. Alana Lake, Blackburn Cycling Club on the outside. And a big move off the back there. Just didn't quite see it. Rider did swing up and then really start hunting the riders there, you see, in the black colours. And it might be a little bit too little too late because they come through. You can see right out in front here, Caitlin Kelly putting the pressure down. Madison Smith has found her way out again, back up into second position. The race for 7th place here in the junior Kirin for the women. And it'll be a comfortable 7th place as she comes across the line. Caitlin Kelly, G4 Cycling Performance Hub. So she claims 7th in the women's Kirin here. And the Austral Night, 127th edition of the Austral Wheelrace, thanks to the Quest at Ivanhoe. Coming down to Melbourne, looking for somewhere to stay, make sure you look up the Quest in Ivanhoe. Great supporters of track cycling and AusCycling in Victoria. Now we see the riders coming onto the track for the final, the race from 1st to 6th in the under-19 Women's Kirin final here. As I mentioned earlier, the two riders from Balmoral, the two Queenslanders, Ella Liang and Emma Stevens. From Bathurst in New South Wales, Ebony Robinson. Bendigo's Hayley Jack. Canberra, represented by Natasha Sitsky. And across from Adelaide, Norwood Cycling Club, April Catt. I was just chatting to Wayne McCarney, who's a very cherished member of the Norwood Cycling Club. Does so much for that wonderful South Australian club. And the Olympic medalist himself back in 1988, Wayne McCarney. We are underway, the final of the under-19 Women's Kirin, and it's Hayley Jack from Bendigo, position number 1. Crafty rider, Hayley. Great to see her make another final here. Natasha Sitsky sits in second position in the blue colours. April Catt from Norwood, South Australian, in the black colours in position number 3. And in the maroon colours of Queensland, sitting in 4th position. That's Emma Stevens. Ebony Robinson behind her in the orange colours. And Ella Liang in the blue and white, position number 6. Stevens giving a little bit of gap here as the bike comes off. Hayley Jack leads. Pace still off though. And a big gap being given here by Emma Stevens. Needs to be careful. Ella Liang just drifting up around the outside. Not wanting to go past Stevens though. That's interesting. There's a tactical battle here. The race has been split into 2. And the two Queenslanders that know each other very well. Liang waiting for Stevens to move, and now she goes. And look at the speed of the Queenslander. Now we know why Ella Liang wanted to get onto the wheel of Stevens, because she's fast as they go down the back straight. Siski trying to hold off the Queenslander, but Emma Stevens blasts past as she goes into the final bend. Ebony Robinson in the orange colours gets taken into second place, but winning the Kirin here, the most powerful, the fastest of the under-19 women, Emma Stevens comfortably gets the win. Pretty clear now. Ella Liang wanted to get onto Emma's wheel. She knows how fast she is. She trains a lot with her up at the Annamere's Velodrome.
but unable. So great win there for Emma Stevens. Robertson to second. So a few of the riders there warming up. Some getting ready for the final of the Austral Wheelrace. Others just getting ready for the Madison Championship still to come, both men's and women's. AusCycling National Madison Championships to be decided here tonight. It really has become such a fantastic cycling carnival on the program for AusCycling. They have the Austral, the 127th edition, such a traditional handicap wheel race. Combine that with the Madison. It's a lot of riding for the riders, of course, a lot of racing. But such prestigious events to be held on the same night. The women's Austral final will be the next race to come out. The Keirin racing all completed now. We have the women's Austral followed by the men, and then it's the elite women's Madison followed by the men's Madison. 4 races still to come, but 4 very important events in the history of Australian cycling. There'll be 2 scratch riders in the women's final coming up, and also the same in the men's final, 2 scratch riders. Tsuyaka Uchino from Japan will be riding off scratch along with Maeve Plouffe, the South Australian. 2 Olympians side by side lining up for women's Austral wheel race. The only 2 riders that will cover the complete distance of 6 laps for the women. It's 8 laps, 2,000 metres for the men. And they have a 60-metre gap to bridge to 3 riders. Alyssa Pilates, Odette Lynch, and also Kira Will. Real cluster of riders just around those marks as well. 70 metres, there's Ella Liang, who just rode the Keirin. Now she has to come back out for the women's Austral final. Claudia Marks off 80, and also Lauren Perry and Nicole Duncan off 90 metres. Some incredibly talented riders in that list there. Limit marker, 4 riders off 160 metres, 3 from Hong Kong and 1 from Singapore. Bit of a shock to the system for the internationals. And they come out and ride a Australian handicap race for the first time. Valencia Tan from Singapore. Phoebe Tong from Hong Kong. Her teammates Yin Shan Qing and Wei Yi Lang. They are the 3 riders from Hong Kong and the 1 from Singapore riding off 160 metres. They are our limit markers in the women's Austral wheel race. Off 145 metres from the Vikings Cycling Club, Emily Watch. 125 will have Ebony Robinson from Bathurst, another rider trying to get herself straight back on after the Keirin. Cho Yu Yang from Hong Kong off 120. She sits alongside Keely Bennett off 120 as well. She is going to be very dangerous, Keely Bennett, the winner of the National Road Series. There she is in the grey colours. Keep an eye out for her. Road Specialist, the National Road Series winner for 2024, and off a handy mark of 120. 10 metres behind her, Hannah Bayard from New Zealand. Then 2 riders off 100, and that's Lilia Tatarinoff from New South Wales and Emily Sanders from the Gold Coast. Then we go back to the riders I mentioned. 90 metres, Nicole Duncan. 80 metres, Lauren Perry and Claudia Marks. 70 metres for Ella Liang. 3 riders off 60, Kira Will, Odette Lynch and Alicia Pilates. And then 2 scratch riders, Uchino and Plouffe. The riders are almost around to their marks. 2 Olympians on the back mark. We see that so often here in the Austral final. Six laps of the track. It's the 127th edition of the men's Austral. The women's Austral doesn't have as long a history, but it certainly has the prestige. 6 laps of the track for the women, thanks to Quest of Ivanhoe. Still just waiting for riders to get settled. Nervous moments before the start. They were just about to start, but they are not ready. You can see some riders did not go to the correct mark. So one rider just making her way in the back straight to get herself into the right position. Japanese world champion sitting on the scratch mark alongside Maeve Plouffe. So Uccino and Plouffe, the back markers, and we are underway. The Quest Ivanhoe Austral wheel race for the women over 6 laps. 2 back markers with a massive gap to try and overcome if they are going to get themselves any chance of coming away with the win. That big cluster of riders come through to complete their first lap now. And it's grouping up at the front. The limit markers, the 3 from Hong Kong, 1 from Singapore, have all eased up, and that's a real big advantage for the group that have come from behind. Keely Bennett has gone right towards the front as well, and we're still waiting for the 2 scratch riders to get there. Everyone together except the 2 back markers. They're working well. We see Plouffe driving it. Uccino in second position there as they go down the back straight, working well to try and catch this cluster of riders in front. 3 laps to go in the women's Austral wheel race. Plouffe and Uccino still have not quite got there yet. There's still time to come. Tatarinov comes through, swings up and out of the way. Then it's Perry that comes through. Claudia Marks in second position in the darker blue colours. And then in third position in the grey colours, that's Keely Bennett. I mentioned her before. She's a big danger here tonight. And it's 1 lap to go in the women's Austral final. There's a big move coming from behind though. That's Tatarinov. Marks down the back straight. Keely Bennett now moves. Tatarinov out of the saddle. 3 wide in the final bend. Look at the strength of Claudia Marks. The rider from Canberra wins the Austral wheel race. That was super strong from her. She went from a long way out. Keely Bennett could not match the power though down the back straight. And Claudia Marks wins the women's Austral. Keely Bennett perhaps in second place. And Tatarinov, good ride from her as well in the top 3. Tatarinov into second, Bennett into third. And Claudia Marks, that was powerful. No chance for the scratch riders in the end. Uccino and Maeve Plouffe unable to get there. And if you look at some of the quality of these riders, Claudia Marks, she's been on the fringe of the national team, part of the national team pursuit training squad and development program. Keely Bennett, as I mentioned, the National Road Series overall winner this year. Tatarinov went to the Junior World Championships this year as well. So very talented riders off some pretty handy marks. They were always going to be hard to catch. I do feel that the internationals got a little bit lost. First time that they've ridden at this level in a handicap style event such as a wheel race. Australia, the only place in the world that has this type of event. Great win for Claudia. She has shown so much potential at the National Championships earlier in the year. So great to see her continuing on her growth pattern. Men's Austral final coming up next. You see the riders now just doing their final preparations. Darren Casey with the yellow vest doing the media obligations. Solid member of the Bendigo Cycling Club and community as well, Darren. Well done to Claudia Marks. So the riders now coming out onto the track and going around to their positions for the men's Austral Wheelrace final. Noah Blannon from the Gold Coast Cycling Club off 210 metres. Noah's a good rider. That's an incredible margin to be gifted, as is the rider in the next position off 180 metres, Zach Marriage, National Road Series race winner throughout the season as well, from South Australia, and he's also been named in the Australian team for the Santos Tour Down Under in January. He's off 180 metres. Lachlan Walters from Hamilton Wheelers off 145. Neil Van Niekerk, South Australian from Mount Gambier, off 140. 125, Sun Wai Chu from Hong Kong. Then Oliver Ward from Norwood off 120. Also, Sum Lee Nong from Hong Kong off 120. Tom Butler from Brunswick off 110. Toby Jones from the Balmoral Cycling Club in Queensland off 100. And then 4 riders off the 80-metre mark. Soki Kawano from Japan, his teammate Shoei Matsuda, then Ben Koch and Rowan Hayden-Smith, Queenslander. Off 70 metres, Dylan Ether rides for the Keish Parkoop team from Dubbo. And then the New Zealander, Kian Watts, off 50 metres, and he's joined by Cameron Scott. St George Cycling Club, but Bahrain victorious professional team. Great to see Cameron Scott back onto the track. Doesn't have a professional contract for 2025, so he's bringing himself back onto the Velodrome as part of the national program. It'll be interesting to see how he travels tonight. The other rider off 50 metres, Declan Trezise, the Queenslander. Very crafty rider as well. 20 metres, rode for Australia at the World Championships a couple of months ago, Blake Agnoletto from Bendigo Cycling Club. And then the 2 scratch riders, Aya Hashimoto from Japan and Team Bridge Lane's Liam Walsh, here riding in the Queensland Academy of Sport colours of maroon and grey. Liam Walsh won the Australian Omnium Championship yesterday on absolutely sensational form. Rode the World Championships this year for the first time in the Omnium. And he's a scratch with a very experienced Japanese rider who does know these races. Hashimoto has been to Australia numerous times. He knows how to ride a handicap, and he'll be very strong in the Madison later on tonight as well. To the 120th edition. We have seen Connor Lay also come up. He wasn't on my initial start list, but we are underway. Connor Lay is the third of the scratchmen, along with Aya Hashimoto and Liam Walsh. 3 incredibly strong riders in the back 3 positions. And look what's happened at the back marks. As the riders out in front are all coming together, the back markers, the next couple of riders all swung up and went straight to the back of the scratchies. So 6 riders all together at the back and a big cluster of riders off the front. Zach Marriage it is that leads them down the back straight, but the Two riders way out in front. Marriage and Blannon working together. It's a tough job. They are both really strong riders, but just once these groups get together, it's really difficult with the speed that they can close down. They've been caught. So a big group of riders out in front. The Scratchmen still with a lot of work to do here. And incredibly fast as they go through. So there's been a real split out in front. Look at this. It's starting to get a little bit disorganised. 3 laps to go as they come through. Walters in a good position. Still waiting for the Scratchmen to come. They'll come around to get 2 laps to go. 3 in front. Big group chasing them. Now a big move coming from Neil Van Niekerk in the black colour. So he goes on alone now. Van Niekerk chasing glory. The Scratchmen still with a lot of work to do. The final 500 metres to go of the 127th Austral Wheelrace into the final lap, and Van Niekerk now gets overtaken by Walters. Blannon it is perhaps that's coming towards them now. Scratchmen are out of this one. It's going to be the middle markers that get there. And it's Noah Blannon that does come through to get the win. So very solid, strong riders on scratch, but they were not able to combine well enough to catch the middle markers. And Noah Blannon claims the 127th Austral Wheelrace. Thanks to Quest Ivanhoe. The Queensland victory in Australia's oldest and most prestigious track cycling event. The next generation claiming the big victories. Noah Blannon. Zach Marriage in second place with Lachlan Walters in third. So Zach Marriage off 180 metres was able to hold on for second place. And the 3 riders off scratch, unable to get up there, Walsh, Hashimoto and Connolly. Tough job when you look at the names of these riders. Anyone following the National Road Series, the NRS throughout the year, the last couple of seasons, or the Track National Championships, they know these names. They've seen Zach Marriage, they've seen Noah Blannon. These riders are really well trained, well looked after. You give them handicap marks and starts like that, it's always going to be super tough to get them. So Blannon off 210 metres. The outmarker comes away with the win. So Marriage and Blannon, they did combine to start with for the first couple of laps, but didn't go too hard. They swung up, they got onto that first chase group, had enough in the legs to come back over the top. Unusual to see the limit marker get the win after being caught from the middle bunch. So look at that. The 2 outmarkers coming away first and second, done in unusual fashion. But such the talent of this next generation. Nick Formosa on the left, Queensland Academy of Sport. His last day of coaching in that position for the QAS. We'll be happy with that success. And then Brett Aiken, my Olympic Madison partner from the Sydney Olympic Games, who looks after the South Australian Sports Institute. Just re-signed in that position for another 4 years. So great to see Brett Aiken continuing. And there's congratulations to Nick Formosa. Great tenure looking after the Queensland Academy of Sport. I hope he can enjoy himself for the rest of this final evening as a coach of the QAS and the Queensland Academy. Cameron Scott in the Bahrain colours. Wait to see how he can perform in the Madison coming up. 50-kilometre Madison race for the men, finishing off the evening. Very well-dressed man. Such good racing here. If you haven't been to a velodrome, most people are listening and tuning into us on either the AusCycling YouTube channel or SBS On Demand know a fair bit about cycling typically. If you haven't been to a velodrome, a night like this is really worth making the effort to go along to. Track National Championships in a few months up in Brisbane again at the Anna Meares Velodrome. Brett Lancaster in the green colours there, the green shirt. So Brett Lancaster, 2004 Olympic gold medalist in the team pursuit. Long-time professional on the road, several teams, then became a sports director, Team Ineos, before moving back to Shepparton. His son has been racing here over the last couple of days, so great to see. Jeremy Hunt in the white colours, former British champion on the road. His wife Narelle in the blonde just next to him, so some real cycling history in the velodrome, as you would expect. First of our presentations, not too far away. Great opportunity for us old-timers to catch up with old friends. I mentioned Wayne McCarney before. I was chatting with Wayne and David Dew, Peter Attard, all from my era. For those of you who don't know who's talking, it's Scott McGrory. Great to chat with Pete Dewey and Wayne McCarney. And the people that make it all tick. It's all running seamlessly, I must say. Nathan O'Neill doing a great job with all the timing. 1887, the first edition of the Austral Wheelrace. Held at the MCG for the first 17 editions. It did come back to the MCG for a couple of years as well, but it went out to the exhibition track, then to the old Essendon board track, then to the Olympic Park, Brunswick Velodrome, Coburg, and then here at Northcote on the outdoor concrete track before they demolished that to build the velodrome that we're racing at here now. So much history. And Keely Bennett taking third place in the women's Austral thanks to Quest Ivanhoe. Lilia Tatarinoff in second place. But the new Austral champion is Claudia Marks from Canberra. Three riders coming out of the middle of the field. Claudia Marks rode off 80 metres. Tatarinoff off 100 and Keely Bennett off 120. But the final two laps, you have to hand it all to Claudia Marks. Went to the front early and had the power to hold on. Fantastic performance from her. So the women's race has been run and won. Just waiting for the presentation for the men now as well, and a very different scenario for the men. You can look back at some of the old footage. Stephen Pate, the winner of most editions of the Austral, he won 4 times, and Danny Clark has some of the most incredible stories. It always keeps popping up on Facebook. Some incredible victories from Danny Clark, his performances off scratch mark. And there's me, of all people. Look at that. Scott McGrory riding off scratch in the pink colours back in the day. I can tell you that I did not get up for the win that day. It was Troy Clark. We're in the same colours, we're riding for the same track team, and Troy Clark got the win over me well and truly that day. I didn't even catch them, unfortunately. On to the presentation now for the men. Lachlan Walters in third place, Zach Marriage second, and the Austral Wheelrace winner, the 127th, is Noah Blannon. First, second and third off the 3 out marks. And in order, Blannon, the out marker off 210 metres, Marriage off 180 and Walters off 145. First, second and third in the race. That is extraordinary. We have not seen that for a very long time, if at all. Rides for my old club, the Gold Coast Cycling Club. I'm sure he's done plenty of laps, not just at the Brisbane facility, the Anamiers Velodrome, but also the Nerang Velodrome, where I just cut my teeth many, many years ago. Our under-19 riders are so impressive. Well trained, but also so well disciplined. They have so much better understanding of their bodies than, say, my generation at the same age. Nutrition as well. And again, Nick Formosa, happy with his young steed. Noel Blannon can add his name to the long history. Started back in 1887 at the MCG. The very first winner, Harry Lambton. Almost a black tie affair. I'll tell you the prizes back in the day as well certainly was more of a black tie affair. They were winning the equivalent of a house in the early days. Certainly weren't worth as much as they are these days, of course. Grand piano was one of the prizes, the very early editions of the Austral Wheelrace. The gentleman certainly looks well attired to sit behind a grand piano. Tickle the ivory. One of the riders from Hong Kong, just getting ready for the Madison still to come. So just allowing the riders a little bit of a gap here between the races. Women's Madison will be coming up soon, but knowing that some have only just completed the Austral Wheelrace, it's only fair to give them a little bit of a rest before they have to come back out onto the track for such a difficult event as the Madison. Have a look at some of the pairings for the women. Team number 1, Maeve Plouffe and Isla Carr, South Australia, Western Australia combination. They'll certainly be a strong team. Team number 2 is Ziwing Li from Hong Kong and also Wei Yi Leung from Hong Kong. The second of the teams from Hong Kong, Li Tong Guardiola and Bo Yi Luang. Then a slightly easier team to pronounce. Team number 5, Lucy Reeve and Amelia Sykes, both from the Canterbury Track Cycling Club in New Zealand. And man in black actually just came past to say hello to me, Greg O'Shea, Gosha, very long-time friend of mine. Unfortunately, I'm live in commentary, so I didn't have any time to actually say an actual vocal g'day to him. Great to see him here. Lives in Malaysia. He's only out here for a week or so, but loves his cycling and wants to come to the track and watch such a big night like the Austral and the Madison. So great to see Osher here. And perhaps the next generation of cyclists playing around on the infield as well. Team number 6 is Ava Schmidtke from the South Coast and Megan Baker from Canterbury. Japanese team, Uchino and Ikeda. They'll be ones to watch, really strong. Sophie Edwards and Nicole Duncan, another really strong team. Team number 10, the Austral winner, Claudia Marks, riding with Lauren Bates. Very exciting talent, youngster Lauren Bates, both from the Canberra Cycling Club. Kira Will with Keely Bennett, team number 11. Sally Carter from Western Australia, rides for the X-Speed cycling team. And also Alyssa Pilates from very strong Melbourne team, Carnegie Caulfield. So that'll be a strong team as well. Team number 12. Alana Hribar and Lilith Jones, young team, team number 13. Summer Nordmeyer from South Australia with Mackenzie Milne from Brunswick. That's team number 14. Team 15, Sophie Marr and Ali Anderson. That's a strong combination as well. Look out for team 15. Team 16, Anna Dubier and Emily Sanders. Team 17, Leonie Vanderberg from South Australia and her South Australian teammate Madeline Wasserbach. And the 18th team is Yong Chao and Julia Liu. A Chinese combination. So 18 teams on the track, or 18 teams numbered, 16 total teams. So 16 teams. It's going to get pretty tight out there. Shane Kelly in the background. What a great vantage point. Right on the top of the track here. In front of the Blackburn Cycling Club sign. And I can say that we did have a little presentation and a moment of silence just before we started this evening for Emerson Harwood, who sadly passed away a couple of weeks ago. Strong member of the Blackburn Cycling Club. And really unfortunate, very sad for so many of the people in the track cycling community that had been a teammate of his or an athlete when he became a coach later on. Very sad to lose such an integral part of our cycling community in such recent days. Our thoughts go out to all of his family and friends. Search the crowd. Who else can we pick out? Brush past Shane Kelly, absolute legend of track cycling. And we are doing the presentations now on track itself, so the team's starting to come out. Get an idea to try and put the team numbers to the colours that they're riding in. We saw Vanderberg and Wasserbach roll around in the red South Australian Sports Institute colours. They'll be an easier team to look out for. Team 16, the Queensland colours of Dubier and Sanders. Team number 15, Sophie Marr and Ali Anderson. The ARA Skip Capital team colours. That'll be a really strong team. Look out here, this is Summer Nordmeyer and Mackenzie Milne, team number 14. And we jump back out to 18, slightly out of order. That's Chow and Liu. should have been the first team around to be presented, but missed their mark. Team number 12 in the Liv Alula colours, Sally Carter and Alyssa Polites. Definitely a team to watch. Team number 11 in the grey, Kira Wheel and Keely Bennett. Bennett just off the podium from the Austral Wheelrace. Kira Wheel rode the Madison at the World Championships this year, along with Alex Manley. Recent experience at the highest level. Claudia Marks and Lauren Bates. Good combination. Marks, the Austral Wheelrace winner, and Lauren Bates. She is an absolute sensation. Under 19 rider. Uchina and Ikeda from Japan. Team number 6, Ava Schmidkip and Megan Baker. Aussie-New Zealand combination there. Team 5, they'll be easy to identify. Lucy Reeve and Amelia Sykes. 2 riders from New Zealand. And the first of our 2 teams from New Zealand in the pink colours. Team number number 4, Lee and Bo. Lee and Luang is team number 2 in the blue colours of Hong Kong. And one of these is a South Australian, Maeve Plouffe, but they're in the Western Australian Institute of Sport colours, Plouffe and Isla Carr. So Isla with the blue helmet, Maeve with the black. I can tell you, I actually rode an Australian Madison Championship with Brett Aiken once in different coloured jerseys. The team I was riding for, the Jayco team back in the day, refused to let me ride in a different colour, our team manager. So I had to ride in Jayco, and Brett was already confirmed with the sponsorship for our jerseys. So they allowed us to ride in different coloured jerseys. I can tell you, for us it was okay, but it would have been so confusing for everybody else in the race and very dangerous. I'm glad those sorts of shenanigans are no longer tolerated. 120 laps for the Women's Madison National Championships. Sprint every 10 for points, 5, 3, 2 and 1. If you gain a lap on the field, 20 points for your effort. Team with the most points at the end comes away with the win. Teams will make their hand-sling changeover roughly every 2.5 to 3 laps. It's not compulsory. You don't have to change every time, but it's advantageous to do so. The longer a rider is left in the race, the more fatigued they become. Very technical race. Big advantages can be gained by the more experienced and the more skillful teams in a Madison race. Mackenzie Milne leads them down the back straight. The red number, team number 14 in the pink colours. And the first neutral lap to get underway. Tony Torr, our chief commissaire, president of the commissaire panel, blows the whistle. And the AusCycling Women's Madison National Championship is underway. 120 laps, sprint every 10. First changes about to be made. And Sophie Edwards, the first one to do her hand sling. Kira Wheel comes in. Nicole Duncan, I should say. Nicole Duncan is now in the race for Sophie Edwards. They're always nervous the first few laps. It's good that they've actually strung out quite a bit, just to allow themselves to get a little bit of space between these changes. A lot of these teams would not have actually had any time to practice a hand sling. Quick short turn of pace there for Sally Carter. Keely Bennett in the grey colours, the National Road Series winner for 2024. The last ever National Road Series as we go into the Pro Velo Super League from 2025 on. A new series that's been created by Matt Wilson, former Australian champion himself and professional. It's a great initiative. And that will get underway in the first week of the Tour Down Under, actually, running in conjunction with the women's race, will be the kick at Adelaide, first of the Pro Velo Super League events. Pace has just come off a little bit as they bunch up. A lot of energy wasted at the back if the riders do get caught behind. 1:13 to go. They'll start thinking about this next sprint now. A couple of laps until they hear the bell for the first time. Kira Will, happy to stay on the front, knowing that sprint is approaching. She'll be looking for a partner, Keely Bennett. First move, those coming from Maeve Plouffe. She's looking for Sally Carter. She's just in front. Carter, the bell will sound as they come around. And the first change is made into the bell. First sprint on offer. Sally Carter in the West Australian Institute of Sport colours leads down the back straight. Keely Bennett trying to hold on for seconds. Or did they miss the change? Perhaps Keely. I think they did, actually. I think Keely Bennett did miss the change with Kira Will. So that's unfortunate. Still got some points though, but a good setup there by Maeve Plouffe to put Isla Carr in the position to pick up 5 points. So our first leaders, Plouffe and Carr in the yellow and black colours. Edwards and Duncan finishing in second for 3 points. Then it was Will and Bennett for 2 points. And Lee and Leong from Hong Kong, 1 point in fourth. And immediately, the first of our attacks, team number 18, Cao and Liu. Keely Bennett, fresher legs. She did actually, in fact, miss the change before that sprint. So, very quick to close it down. 3 teams, 4, 5 coming together at the front. And that's put a few teams in difficulty at the very back as well. So they're all starting to reform at the front, but still some big gaps to be closed down by the teams that lost out with that acceleration. The Japanese team also looking to bridge the gap. Pace has not come off. 1:05 to go, not too long until we get to the second of the intermediate sprints. Four, 5 teams in difficulty off the back of the peloton, but they have eased ever so slightly now. So you can see the overall standings after the first sprints. Team number 1, Maeve Plouffe and Isla Carr. That was set up perfectly. 1:03 to go now. 2 laps to the next sprint. And Claudia Marks is about to come into shot. There she is, the Austral Wheelrace winner. Big move to get herself into a good position here at 1:02 to go. She'll be looking for her partner as they go down the back straight. The bell will sound when they come around this time. They will make the change in this final lap. Lauren Bates will come in, but Maeve Plouffe has already come over the top of that change as they go down the back straight. Bates off the change. Can she fight back through a good position here? She gets overtaken as Maeve Plouffe picks up another 5 points. So that's 2 sprint wins for team number 1. Perfect score so far for Plouffe and Carr. Ali Anderson and Sophie Ma, 3 points for second place. So they'll be tied on second position now with Edwards and Duncan. Ali Anderson keeps the pressure on. Not all the teams have made it back to the peloton. There's still a couple of teams off the back in difficulty. Team number 5, the New Zealanders in the lime green colours, struggling to keep themselves in the race here as they're out the back. Out in front, Claudia Marks, though, takes control of the front of the peloton. Ali Anderson sits in second position behind her. Isla Carr. Plouffe and Carr in the yellow and black colours. It's Isla Carr with the blue helmet, or blue and black, and Maeve Plouffe with the black helmet. And this is the team from New Zealand that are trying to get themselves back into this race, but being dropped so early does not show good signs. 95 laps remain. Women's National Madison Championships. Team starting to think about the next sprint now. You can see them moving up around the outside. Alyssa Pilates on the outside. 93 to be 92 laps to go. The bell the next time they come through. Pilates still fighting against Plouffe on the inside, trying to get over the top. Ali Anderson, though, still leads down the back straight. The bell will sound. Her partner, Sophie Ma, as Ali Anderson now comes in. So Ali Anderson will lead through at 91 laps to go. Carter chasing her. Sally Carter starting to close in on Anderson. 2 fast finishing teams coming from back behind them as well, but Carter should just, maybe not. Wow. Sally Carter then really finishing well. So Carter it was, over the top. So fantastic sprint from her. The green helmet, green and black helmet. Three points picked up by team number 1 though, Plouffe and Carr. They go to 13 points, extend their lead despite not winning that one. Carter and Pilates, 5 points, tied with Ma and Anderson. And Edwards and Duncan on 4, and then it's Marks and Bates on 2. Lauren Bates. Attack there from Keely Bennett in the grey colours. Great sprint. See Carter over the top, 3 wide, and just gets there. That was really close. From the camera angle, you could not quite tell. There's a better look as they go across the line. There's a tyre in it, very close, but you only have to win by a tyre. 5 points to Carter and Pilates. Great average speed here in the Women's National Madison Championship. The women's race does often come down to being a bit of a sprint fest where they do ease off a little bit between the sprints, but that's not been the case this time. They really have kept the pressure on. It's made it very difficult for the teams that have been stuck at the back. The ones with less experience and the less bike handling skill really do struggle if they're in the back of the bunch for too long. And again, all strung out with some real pressure being applied. Kira Will absolutely driving on the front. She rode the Madison at the World Championships with Alex Manley a couple of months ago up against the world's best. She wants a hard race, really putting the pressure on here. And the next of the intermediate sprints coming as the bell sounds. Kira Will looking for a partner, but she's not going to find Keely Bennett. There was another missed change, so Wheel and Bennett, they're not getting the changes done right. That's hurting them big time. Japan come over the top though to pick up their 5 points. We've been expecting a lot from them. Now they're on the scoreboard. Did not ease up either. Look at this. Going on with it. Showing some real strength here, team number 8. Akita makes the change. Big stretch of the arms there as Uchino comes in. Five points for the intermediate sprint wins, but 20 points for a lap gain. That's what Japan are chasing. They can win the race, but they can't win the jersey or the medal. The national champion will be the leading Australian team. So tactically, that can make some changes as we get deeper into the race for the international teams. They can take advantage of the infighting between the Australians that actually are in contention for the title. Best move we've seen so far. 76 laps to go, and Japan looking really strong. Length of the back straight is their advantage. And we're seeing teams getting lapped now as well, getting mixed within the washing machine that is a Madison. Riders going everywhere here at the moment. Team chasing in the light blue colours. Team number 2 from Hong Kong, Lee and Luang. They've sensed the danger. They want to get out there with Japan. And they've opened up a really nice, handy lead as well from what's left of the peloton as they start to disintegrate under the pressure here that has been applied by Japan. They can seriously start considering reaching the back of the peloton now. More than half a lap is the advantage that Japan have over the peloton. Hong Kong second team on the track, handy lead as well. And it's team number 1. Ooh, really messy as they went through. You see the peloton really swinging up. 71 to go, the next of the intermediate sprints. Japan will pick up the 5 points. That's a done deal already. Hong Kong come through. They'll get the 3 at the end of this lap. But it's the lap gain. That's what's on the cards here. 5 points gained for the sprint win as they cross the line now for Japan. And they're getting into the traffic at the back of the peloton just ahead of them. Hong Kong pick up the 3 points. Team number 2 of the 2 teams from Hong Kong, teams 2 and 3, was team number 2 with 3 points for them. And a scramble for what was left. 2 points on offer for the best from the peloton. It was Edwards and Duncan. Just ahead of Ma and Anderson. So team 9, Edwards and Duncan. There takes them up to 8 points. They sit in 3rd position. But with 2 sprint wins for Japan, they are on 11 points and they've now reached the peloton. So they will go straight to the top, 20 extra points added, and they go to 31. So with Japan now reaching the peloton, getting the 20 points, the leaders on the track going down the back straight. The team from Hong Kong, team number 2. That was impressive. How strong was the Japanese team? Ikeda and Uchino, both so short in stature. They're not hitting much wind. Get right tucked down, super aero. That was strong. A solo lap by the Japanese team. That's Uchino, the black colour, number 8. Peloton come through with 64 to go, and almost about to get 63 laps to go is Hong Kong now, the light blue colours. They are the leaders on the track. If they can stay away at least for this next sprint, there will be another 5 points that they'll get. They're down in 6th place at the moment on 4 points. They've been out there for a long time. They want this lap gain. They need the 20 points now. Such a big effort. That's the reward that they're chasing for it. The bell will sound. Hong Kong come through for the bell. 61 laps to go, so they're well out in front. They'll get the 5 points that are on offer this time. And there's the peloton coming through now. You can hear the gap between the two, half a lap or so, but the gap will come down in this sprint. Maeve Plouffe has burst off the front of the peloton. She'll pick up the 3 points. The Japanese team, no points for them as they come through, but Plouffe picks up the 3. Peloton's splitting up once more, but 5 points went to the colour blue out in front for Hong Kong. The race leaders, Uchino and Ikeda, no points for them in that sprint, but they still hold on to a commanding lead on 31 points. Plouffe and Carr, though, they picked up 3 points then, so they went to 17. 7 points ahead of Carter and Politis on 10. And the team from Hong Kong, Lee and Luang, up to 9 points now. They're in 4th place. And still off the front of the peloton, desperately trying to gain a lap on the peloton. 57 laps to go now for the team from Hong Kong. Peloton still coming around. Another move perhaps coming high on the track. Team 18 it is. There has not been much respite in this race. Nice change there, right in the middle of the peloton there. Edwards throwing in Nicole Duncan. Now the next lap gain is on the cards here because the peloton have eased off slightly, and that's given the advantage back to Hong Kong. So off the back of the field, off the back of this picture here, is the light blue colours of Hong Kong making a change at the end of the back straight. They'll come around into the front straight now, and they'll get 54 laps to go, but they are just about to catch the back of the peloton. We saw the Japanese team do it. They picked up 20 points for their efforts, and the team from Hong Kong are about to do the same. They come into shot there. They are the light blue colours at the top of the picture. At 53 laps to go, they are just about to get to the peloton. That was a courageous fight. So team number 2, the second team to take a lap on the field, another 20 points added. Now they'll go to second position now overall, 29 points. Well, the internationals, they're taking over here in our National Madison Championship. The first of the Aussie combinations, Team 1, Plouffe and Carr in 3rd place now on 17 points. And the next are the sprints. Anderson blasts past Politis down the back straight. Maeve Plouffe in 3rd place, but a really good sprint here from Ali Anderson. Down in 6th place, they need the points. So 5 points going to Sophie Ma and Ali Anderson. That'll take them up to 11 points. That's good, that's keeping them in the hunt. But look at this, another attack from Japan. Spent a few laps just resting in the middle of the bunch, and now, whack, gone again. Look back at the sprint. Ali Anderson picking up the 5 points in the ARA Skip Capital team colours, just ahead of Isla Carr. So good points call there for Plouffe and Carr as well. But what a great change. Look at the technique of the Japanese team. Uchino into that aero tuck position. Ikeda. 2.5 or 3 laps will go now to rest before she'll be required to come back in. But the gap hasn't opened up as much because we can see the chase here. This is really good to see Kira Will closing the gap. She throws in Bennett, and they will get to the back of the Japanese team. Really good chase there for team number 11. Oh, but Japan not willing to go on with it. Bennett over the top. They still have a pretty reasonable gap here. It's team number 1 that's chasing. So now Keely Bennett driving as Ikeda from Japan sits behind her. They need to work together. There's a real chase from Maeve Plouffe down the back straight, but the gap is starting to open. The National Road Series overall individual winner, Keely Bennett, driving it as she makes a change here to Kira Will. Uchino comes in for Japan. Now, let's see if they can actually work together here against the rest of the field. 42 laps to go. They'll get the bell for the next sprint the next time around. And good to see them working together here. Team number 1 have been reabsorbed back into the peloton. Bell sounds, 41 laps to go. Another change about to be made. Japan make the change down the back straight. And you can see, tactically, the Japanese team made their change. Kira Will has had to go for another half a lap to get to Keely Bennett. Keely Bennett is rolling too fast when she's out of the race. That is really going to hurt the legs of Kira Will. Bennett needs to slow down. Those two teams in front, they need to do their changes together. Tactically, that's not a great situation there for Keely Bennett. And you can see what the pressure does to Kira Will here. The change, far too late. Keely needs to adjust her speed when she's out of the race so that Kira Will does not get her legs snapped. They've gotten a little bit messy because of that. So Bennett makes the change to Will. The Japanese team are doing this superbly. Peloton now realise another lap is about to be gone. Another 20 points is going to be added to the Japanese team's totals. But importantly, from the national championship perspective, it's also going to go to the team in grey. They'll get 20 points here as well. 35 to go. And the lap gain is about to happen. Change for Will as Bennett comes back in. And Ikeda gets to the back of the peloton. That's a lap gain. Both teams now with 20 points added. And that would just extend the overall lead for team number 8 for Japan. They go to 56 points. Wow, they are putting on a Madison clinic here, the team for Japan. Suyaka Uchino and Misuki Ukeda. Now, interestingly, Team 11, Will and Bennett, 6 points from the intermediate sprints, 20 points for the lap gain. They go to position number 3. They go into third ahead of Plouffe and Carr. 6 point advantage that Team 11 have over Team 1 now. So a handy attack, get a lap gain, and they are sitting in the gold medal position as national champions at the moment. 31 laps to go and 3 teams now, 4 teams off the front. None of the teams that are in overall contention at the moment, though, looking likely to pick up points in this sprint. Team 18 come through first, pick up the 5, and then really close between the rest. Edwards and Duncan, Team 9, were the only team that are in the top 7 that were able to pick up some points in that sprint. Lauren Bates has gone on with it though. So Team 10 off the front. Where are the favourites? Who's chasing? Look at this, another big move from Japan. They've seen all these teams go off the front, and Japan again have put the hammer down. Team 11, third overall, gone out after them. Good move from Keely Bennett this time to keep chasing the Japanese team. Desperately looking for their partners though. I don't know what's happened to Plouffe and Carr, but Team 1 in the yellow and black colours are really starting to fade. They won the first 2 sprints, and now they seem to be hurting. They're right at the back of the peloton. There they are. Maeve Plouffe is now in. Pilates also. Team 12 is back there as well. So the teams that were really strong early on, Carter and Pilates, Plouffe and Carr, are really under the pump at the back of the field. Lauren Bates, blue colours, leads through. She's the leader on the track, looking for Claudia Marks, her teammate. Group of 4 teams here. That's 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th on the track at the moment. And a team from Hong Kong just going under the change there, a little bit dangerous there. You have to always go around the outside of the changes, do not go under them. That's how crashes happen. She got away with it this time. So Chase Group working well together. 22 laps to go. And an incredible overall points lead for Japan here. Uchino and Ikeda. The next of the intermediate sprints are coming up though. Claudia Marks off the front. She gets the bell as she goes through in the blue colours for the Australian Capital Territory. That's the group chasing in for 2nd place. Keely Bennett it is. Hong Kong just behind in the light blue colours. Will comes in, and it's Marks that picks up the 5 points. Will picks up the 3, Team 11, so that's really handy. That takes them up to 29 points. They're opening up their gap over Team 1, Plouffe and Carr. So the overall standings, 58 points. Look at that, what a commanding lead. Hong Kong in 2nd position, with Japan looking very comfortable indeed. In terms of the national champions jersey, at the moment, it's Will and Bennett on 27 points. Another great change from Japan. Plouffe and Carr still in the hunt. They sit in 4th place on 20 points, but they do seem to be really struggling as we get deep into this race now. It's only 17 laps to go. Isla Carr and Elisa Pilates, 5th place on 15 points. Edwards and Duncan down in 6th place on 12. Ma and Anderson, 7th place for them on 11 points. So in terms of the national champions jersey, it really is between Team 11 and Team 1, but I'm not sure if Team 11 have the legs. 2 more sprints to come. Ali Anderson down in 7th place overall on 11 points, but she's on the attack. One more intermediate sprint to come for 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. And then the final double points last sprint. 10, 6, 4 and 2. Still plenty of points on offer. Anderson reeled back in. Sophie Edwards first to get to the back wheel of Anderson. And another attack goes. It's Team 12, Carter and Pilates. They sit in 5th place on 15 points, but here we go again from Japan. Wow, they are showing their dominance as they bridge the gap to the 3 teams in front. Change for them. They have a commanding lead, but they do not want anyone to go off the front. Now we see Team 1 again. They've been absent for a little while now, the yellow and black colours, but Maeve Plouffe comes through. The last of the 5-point intermediate sprints. She's not going to have the legs to get there, though, because Team 9 power over the top. Nicole Duncan, she's chasing the 5 points, and she'll get them. Japan, second, 3 points for them, and a real tight battle between Team 11 and Team 1. That was Kira Will up against Isla Carr, and it was Kira Will that got over the top for the 2 points. That's very important. They are the 2 teams fighting for the national champions jersey. It's 2 international teams in 1st and 2nd place at the moment. And Kira Will and Bennett are now tied in 2nd with the team from Hong Kong on 29. Very late change though from team number 1. 1 sprint remains. We'll come round to get 7 laps to go. We saw Kira Will there just getting over the top of Isla Carr to pick up the 2 points for 3rd. 7 laps to go. Now our race winners, that's already done and dusted a long time ago. Uchino and Ikeda from Japan, 61 points, unbeatable margin. They have dominated this race. Such a strong combination from Japan. Tied in 2nd position, both on 29 points. Hong Kong, the light blue colours, team number 2, Lee and Luang. And also team number 11, Will and Bennett. Plouffe and Carr, team number 1 in the yellow and black. They're on 21 points. Mathematically, they can still win the national champions jersey. 10 points for the win. They would need to win, and for Will and Bennett to not score any points, be outside the top 4 in this final sprint for Team 1 to get the win. So for Team 11 in the grey colours, they just have to get some points in this last sprint to be the national champions. The light blue colours of Hong Kong tied in 2nd position. It can still change. The win won't. That's going to Japan. And here they go again. They're on the attack and they're dragging Ali Anderson with them. Where are the other favourites? Pilates just behind them. Then it's Bennett and Carr. 2 laps to go. Japan continue on the front. That's the wheel to get onto. Oh, and at the moment, Keely Bennett is out of the positions for the points in this last sprint. Japan will pick up the 10 points. They are flying around this last lap. Hong Kong are likely to get the 2nd position. That's the 10 and the 6 points gone. And the West Australian colours will get 3rd, 4 points for them as they go across the line. That won't be enough to get the national champions jersey. It will be a victory in the race to Japan. Uchino and Ikeda, they will go out the winners of the race. Hong Kong finish 2nd, but Kira Will and Keely Bennett have done enough to win the national champions jersey. 4 points for Plouffe and Carr in the final sprint. That takes them to 25, but it's not enough to get over the top of team number 11. The grey colours, they will win the national championship, but Japan win the race. What a race win it was as well. The final adjustment of the score, 71 points. Commanding victory, 35 points for Hong Kong in 2nd. And they started the last sprint on 29, they finished it on 29. Team number 11, they'll win the national champions jersey. Kira Will and Keely Bennett are our national women's Madison champions. Great fight back, I must say, from Team 1, Plouffe and Carr. They went missing for a while, really deep in pain. came back, picked up some points in the final sprint, but it was the lap gains for Will and Bennett that got them the national title. I briefly spoke with Keely Bennett's coach, Nick Owen, before the racing got underway this evening. He's bitterly disappointed that Keely, the winner of the National Road Series, was excluded from the national team for the Tour Down Under. So that was fascinating, and great to see Keely bounce back from that sort of disappointment, push it aside, and win another race. She has won a lot within the National Road Series in 2024. Great to see her winning on the track as well. Keely Bennett in the white helmet, our National Road Series champion, and now our Women's Madison National champion. And Kira Will, she has really come on in the last 12 months or so. Given an opportunity to ride at the World Championships a couple of months ago in the Madison event. It's a great experience for her. Certainly a name for the future on the track. Our national champions, Kira Will and Keely Bennett, certainly cannot take anything away though from Japan. Ikeda and Uchino, that was just incredible, that performance. Unsung ride there for Hong Kong as well. Second place, 34. I thought towards the end there, after that massive effort to gain a lap and get the 20 points, I think they'd done their dough then. I thought they were really in trouble. So great to see them fight back and pick up points in that last sprint to consolidate second place. Rebecca Ciavola on the left, coach. That might have been Keely saying the Japanese just kept going and going and going around and around. That was really incredible. 120 laps, 34 minutes. That was fast. I did mention how often the women's Madisons do come down to a bit more of a sprint fest, but that was not the case. There was just laps gained, attacks happening, pressure was on the whole way, and it was thoroughly entertaining national title. The adrenaline is still pumping. Very animated for Kira. Men's Madison National Championship not too far away. And some very interesting stories in the men's race coming up as well. One of the riders to look out for, one of the teams, contains Graham Frisley, who has represented Australia over the last couple of years, but was born in the USA, and after being overlooked for the World Championships a couple of months ago, he decided to change nationalities. He's now riding for the US, his place of birth. I did have a very brief chat with Graham, who is also, like Keely, our individual National Road Series champion for 2024. I did have a brief chat to Graham about it because I am one of the national selectors for our national track program. And it was tough for him to take, that he wouldn't get that gig. He thought he should have been riding the Omnium at the Worlds. We gave the chance to Liam Walsh, who will be racing against here tonight. So it'll be really interesting to see how those guys go head-to-head in the Madison. And we certainly wish Graham all the very best in his endeavours to race on the world stage, albeit for the United States, as we go forward. He's riding with Keown Watts from New Zealand, so an international combination as we look back at some of the spectacular action from the Women's National Madison Championship. Sensational performance from Japan. Several laps taken. And winning the final sprint. Always nice. It's not necessary. They had enough points. They were comfortably going to win anyway. But to win the final sprint, it's a nice touch. And from a fairness perspective, perhaps it also takes away the 10 points for the win that might be gained by someone else trying to move up a little bit in the middle field. So I think it's perhaps even fairer that the overall winner does pick up that final sprint. We see the teams now coming out onto the track for the Men's National Madison Championship. Team 13, Japanese team, Matsuda and Kojima. Kojima is the black number 13. Team number 1, the last one we'll get to see, Blake Agnoletto and James Moriarty. New combination for those two. Blake also rode the World Madison Championship this year with Kel O'Brien. Very experienced now in this discipline. They'll be a tough team. Team 2, another Japanese team. Kawano. Japanese riders, Japanese New Zealand combination, Kawano with Watson Palmer. Team 3 is the team I mentioned, Frisley with Watts, Graham Frisley and Keown Watts. That'll be great to see. Frisley, born in Montana. Team number 4 from Hong Kong, Chin Yin Mao and Kai Kwon So. Team 5 is also from Hong Kong, No and Chu. Team 7, Kurt Ether from New South Wales with Tyler Tompkinson, Queenslander. Laurie Norris just letting the riders know to start to get themselves onto the start line. There's team number 1 in the Victorian Institute of Sport colours. James Moriarty, though, part of the Queensland Academy of Sport. And Blake Agnoletto, of course, member of the VIS. So Agnoletto and Moriarty. James Moriarty was the travelling reserve for the Paris Olympic Games this year. Narrowly missed out on making the team pursuit team. Of course, the remainder of the team going on to win the gold medal in the team pursuit with world record speed. So a tough ask for James. Narrowly missed the team, but the team are the Olympic champions, so it just shows the capabilities of James. The South Australian Sports Institute of Colours, Ollie Bledden and Zach Marriage, and Ollie, one of those riders in that team pursuit team in Paris. Olympic gold medalist on the track here in Melbourne. Great to see him out on the boards. Ollie Bledden. Zach Marriage, second in the Austral earlier. So that'll be an interesting combination, the two riders. Ollie for the Norwood Cycling Club and Zach representing Kilkenny. And had the Olympic Madison champion from 2000 in Brett Aitken as the coach giving him some instructions. Team 18 here, the bright colours. The Butterfields National Road Series team. It's Leo Zimmerman and Rowan Hayden-Smith. It's Rowan that leads them on the off. 16 teams on the track. And this is going to be fascinating. We'll have a quick roll through before we get too far into this. We got up to team number 5. 7 was Ethan and Tompkinson. Team 8, the Austral champion Noel Blennon with Liam Walsh. Liam Walsh, the Omnium champion yesterday. Austral champion, his teammate. There'll be a strong combination. Logan Taplin and Tobias Marzella, team number 9. Bledden and Marriage, as I mentioned. Connor Lay and Declan Tresice, team number 11. Strong combination as well. Alex Hughes, the Gold Coast lad, with Toby Jones, team number 12. And it's Matsuda and Kojima from Japan, team 13. 14 is Lucas Sanders and Mitchell Fitzsimmons, 2 riders from New Zealand. 15 is Will Holmes and Cameron Scott. Cameron Scott, the Bahrain victorious road professional. Will Holmes will be riding for the Jaco Alula team next year, in 2026, but he's signed a contract with them already. He's riding with the Hagen Bermans team next year, the development team for that World Tour squad. Great rider as well. Team 17 is Jonas Shelverton from Tasmania, along with Tom Butler from Brunswick here in Melbourne. And 18, as I mentioned, Leo Zimmerman and Rowan Hayden-Smith. 200 laps of the Velodrome, 50 kilometres. Same format as we just saw with the women's race. Sprint every 10 for 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. Double points on the last. 20 points to gain a lap. The green colours of Caiche Parcours. So the original green colours of the team on the front. That's Ether and Tompkinson. The latest colours of the Caiche Parcours team is the purple outfit, and that's with Graham Frisley and Kian Watts in the race. So Caiche well represented here. When the team won the National Road Series teams classification, the first team to beat the mighty Team Bridge Lane, who have dominated the National Road Series for so many years. And the first sprint not far away. They'll get the bell the next time they come around. And here it comes. Ether leads them through. And very powerful down the back straight. We saw how well Plouffe and Carr were in the first couple of sprints in the women's race, but it did start to really bite them towards the back of the race. So strong ride there for Kurt Ether to pick up the first 5 points. Connor Lay, the big Western Australian. Also an Olympic team pursuit gold medalist. So good to see 2 of the Paris Olympic gold medalists in Ollie Bledden and Connor Lay racing here in the Madison. The other 2, of course, Sam Welsford, still in Europe at the moment, and Kel O'Brien, who is in Melbourne, but choosing to not ride the championships this year, focusing more towards the road to get those road credentials up over the next couple of years. But I do hope that Kel does stick to the track for at least the Madison over the next couple of years. So the early leaders, Ether and Tompkinson, New South Wales and Queensland, Dubbo and Balmoral clubs, ahead of Connor Lay and Declan Tresice. Japan, 2 points for them, Matsuda and Kojima, and there was Alex Hughes and Toby Jones, team number 12, with the 1 point in 4th place at 185 laps to go. Connor Lay, the big man from WA, dominated the individual pursuits at the national championships over a number of years now. Also medalled in the time trial on the road. Now an Olympic gold medalist, world record holder. Team 18 on the attack? No, maybe just getting into position. So very fast around the outside, but just to get themselves set up for this next sprint. Hughes and Jones, team 12, quickly over the top of them. It's Alex Hughes that leads, coming into the second of our intermediate sprints. The young man from Reedy Creek, the back of the Gold Coast, makes a change to Toby Jones. Declan Trezise trying to come up around the outside. He won't be able to get over the top of Jones though. So Jones picks up the 5 points. Fourth in the first sprint, first in the second. Good to see the young riders putting themselves right in the hunt early on. Still 179 laps to go though. Confirmation of the sprint there. So two teams tied on 6 points. Team 11 and Team 12. Connor Lay and Declan Trezise, and Alex Hughes and Toby Jones. Two under 19 riders in Hughes and Jones, showing some real commitment. A healthy respect to the older and more experienced riders, but not being bullied at all. You can see by the shape of the peloton, the pace has been on for these opening 24 laps. A little bit messy as you go down through the middle of the peloton towards the back. Almost a missed change by Japan right towards the back of the field there. Eventually they got it done. Liam Walsh in the Queensland colours on the front. Crowned the National Omnium Champion yesterday. Rode the Omnium at the World Championships earlier this year. And spoke about the, I'll say controversy, not so much, but the tough decision to try and select the one rider for the Omnium at the Worlds. We gave it to Liam. He's backed that up by winning the National Championship here as well. Graham Frisley, though, be looking to show his wares here tonight with Kean Watts. Look out for Frisley. He's in the purple colours of Cage Park Coupe. And the fight to get him to position for the next intermediate sprint is on. Moriarty it is. He'll hear the bell first. Blake Agnoletto, perfectly timed change. Agnoletto comes in down the back straight. You can pencil this one in. He's a fast sprinter anyway, and off a hand sling like that in the final lap, he was always going to pick up those 5 points. So Agnoletto on the scoreboard now. Good setup there from James Moriarty. The boy from Bendigo picks up the 5. So Ether and Tompkinson, though, picking up some points as well. So they are on 7 points and leading. Lay and Trezise on 6. Also Hughes and Jones still. Agnoletto, Moriarty with 5 points move up to 4th. Noel Blannon and Liam Walsh, their first points, 3. They go to 5th place. Tyler Tompkinson. Happy to stay on the front for a couple of laps here. Still a few though before we get to the next sprint, so he is using up a lot of energy. You can see a number of teams in trouble. 3 teams off the back of the field here really in trouble. None of the favoured teams though. Oh, and there's been an unfortunate crash. A team from South Australia. Zach Marriage it is that has gone down. So that's unfortunate. Very quick to get back up on his bike. Teammate Ollie Bledden continues in the race as Zach Marriage gets himself back up onto the boards. There he is, the red colours. So the youngster Zach didn't drop in just that, didn't quite get enough speed to make the change. So Bledden has had to stay in the race for a little bit longer than he was hoping for. and another sprint coming up. So this will hurt Ollie's legs a little bit, the Olympic champion in the team pursuit. He's strong enough, though, to get through. Hopefully Zach's going to be okay. The next of the sprints. Blannon again on the front. And it's Graham Frizzley, the purple colours of Cache Parku. First time we've seen Grizzly Frizzley in the mix. And he'll pick up the 5 points. So he's on the board now. The man from Montana. Kean Watts, his teammate from New Zealand, comes in. And all of the favoured teams now starting to pick up a few points to keep themselves in the hunt. They do not want the gap to open up too soon on points. I can tell you Zach Marriage has made the change to Ollie Bledden, so Bledden can get a little bit of rest now. And Zach looks okay. I don't think he went down too heavily. Certainly lost some skin sliding down the track, but it's the impact, the heavy impact, that really does do the damage. I don't think that was the case there for the youngster from South Australia, Zach Marriage. Team 7 still lead the way. 8 points, Kurt Ether and Tyler Tompkinson. .155 laps remain. Blannon leads through. Sitting equal 4th place. There are 3 teams on 5 points. Team 1, 3 and 8. Agnoletto Moriarty, Frizzley Watts, Blannon Walsh. And you can see them all bunching up. You get to around this 3-4 laps out from the sprints and they really start to fight for position. That's what makes the average speed of the Madison so high. By far the fastest of the bunch races on the Velodrome. And Zach Marriage certainly looks like the crash has not affected him at all as he comes to the front of the field. 1:52 to go. The bell the next time around. Agnoletto in second position. Then it's Walsh. Then it's Connor Lay. Kean Watts in the purple colours further back. Frizzley about to come in. Sprint this time. Bledden leads down the back straight. His good friend in Agnoletto makes the change. And Moriarty comes through, but it's a comfortable 5 points there for Ollie Bledden, team number 10, ahead of team number 1 with James Moriarty, 3 points. Liam Walsh in the Queensland colours. Third across the line, 2 points for him. So some regular team numbers now featuring in the sprints. That was team number 8 in Liam Walsh up there in the points again. Now we have 2 teams tied on 8 points in the lead. Agnoletto and Moriarty, along with Ether and Tompkinson. Three teams, 1 point behind on 7. So this is really tight in the early goings of the men's National Madison Championship. It's teams 8, 10 and 11. Blannon and Walsh, Bledden and Marriage, and also Lay and Tresize, all on 7 points. So no clear leaders so far, very tight between all of the teams here. Bunched up a little bit here as the paces come off ever so slightly. That won't last long because it's not too long until the next sprint. .144 to go. Two teams tied in first place, in first and second on the track as well. Team 7 and team number 1. And a big move there for James Moriarty. 1:43 to go. He wants to put Blake Agnoletto right on the front for this next sprint. So Agnoletto, you can see he's just out of the race, speeding up a little bit to try and come in a little bit later because it's 1:42 to go now. This is going to be a really long sprint for Blake. Lobbed on the front, 2 laps out from the sprint, and now he has to kick it in the saddle. Big move around the outside, and Zach Marriage, Team 10, they go into the sprint lap. Bledden comes in, Agnoletto in second position. So difficult to make the sprints from 2 laps out. Perfectly timed though for the South Australian boys. Bledden with another 5 points, Agnoletto with 3. Team 10 and Team 1. Japan, third across the line. And then in the Aussie colours, or the Aussie training team colours, team number 11, Connor Lay, 1 point. So that takes the South Australian duo into the outright lead. 12 points for Bledden and Marriage, but only 1 point ahead of Agnoletto and Moriarty. The move that James put in then, good move, went early for the sprints. And unfortunately, I think Blake just didn't see it early enough to actually accelerate when he was out of the race. Keep an eye on when the sprints are coming up, because you do have the opportunity. You don't get to see it when you're watching it on TV, but or on your screens. When they're out of the race, they have the opportunity to speed up to make sure they get into the right position to time the changes perfectly for a sprint. Just left Blake 2 laps out from that sprint, and the South Australians just making their change perfectly timed. Team 3 on the front, Frisley and Watts. This is Tian Watts. Graham Frisley now coming in. And another move from the red colours of the South Australian Sports Institute. Ollie Bledden up round the outside. There'll be 132 laps to go. You see Cameron Scott with the light blue helmet. First time we've seen Cam Scott right up here in the mix. Oh, very late change though for Team 12, the under-19 riders from Queensland. They will not be dictated to by the older, more experienced riders. Great to see from the youngsters. They will lead at 131 laps to go into the next sprint. And Cameron Scott did a great job to make sure that he was putting his teammate into right position. So they come through comfortably there. Will Holmes picks up the 5 points. So the first time we've seen Team 15 in the hunt there, Cam Scott and Will Holmes, who picked up the 5. I do like Team 12, the youngsters, under 19s, Hughes and Jones. They are not following wheels, putting themselves in the hunt as we see Ollie Bledden. And with a real late change though for the South Australians, that meant that they missed the points there. Or came in into the last lap, I should say. So Cam Scott into Will Holmes, and Holmes with the 5 points. So the outright leaders on 15, Bledden and Marriage, the red colours of Sassy, team number 10. Agnoletto Moriarty, no points that time, still on 11, sitting in second place, team number 1. Ethan Tompkinson, saw a lot of them early in the green colours, team 7. They sit in third, equal on 8 points with Connor Lay, Declan Tresize, Hughes and Jones, and also Will Holmes and Cam Scott now up to 8 points. Blennon and Walsh on 7. 1 point behind. So still very tight with 124 laps to go. Gaps opening up. It was team number 2 that putting the pressure on. Japanese New Zealand combination of Kawano and Watson Palmer. That's them sitting in 3rd position in the pink and purple colours. And a little gap opening up here for Blannon. Noah Blannon really putting some pressure through the pedals here. He's forcing Graham Frisley to do the big chase. 1:21 to go, another bell. Blannon looking for Walsh. He's going to get him, but very, very late on this lap. So this is going to be to the advantage of Graham Frisley. Late change from the Queenslanders. Frisley picks up the 5 points over the top. You can see how important it is to get the changes at the right time, do it late in the sprint. It gives the advantage in the deceleration throughout the change for a rider to come over the top, as we saw Frisley do. And he quickly then makes the change to Kean Watts, the New Zealander, sits into 4th position now. So Bledden and Marriage still outright leaders on 16. Frisley and Watts move up to equal seconds with team number 1, Agnoletto and Moriarty. Easy sprint win in the end there for Graham Frisley. And you look at this cluster of riders here. There is a big chase. Someone was caught sleeping. They'll come into pit view in a moment. There they are. It was Blake Agnoletto in the dark blue colours. The royal blue colours bridges the gap. A little bit of a wasted energy chase there though for Blake. Just caught out a little bit at the back. No harm done. Strong enough to recover from that at 1:15 to go. Easing of the pace somewhat now at 1:13 to go. No real serious attacks yet. It really has been a race of sprints. I mentioned how the women's race often is a sprint fest. Well, the men's race tonight has been much more of a sprint fest. We see another attack now from Team 2. So Watson Palmer, New Zealander, big attack from him. And they'll come around for the next sprint. Can he hold on for the 5 points? He has Connolly behind him. Change, Kawano comes on. And Connolly straight up around the outside. The big Western Australian, the Olympic gold medalist in the team pursuit. And he will hold on just for the 5 points. But some more points though for Team 10. I think maybe 2 points there for Ollie Bledden. So the overall leaders on 16 may have just picked up 2 more and extended their overall lead. So Ollie Bledden so far looking really strong here tonight. It was in fact 2 points. They go to 18. Connolly's effort takes him to second outright on 13. Team 1 dropped down to third now on 11, as is Frisley and Watts. Blannon and Walsh, Team 8 on 10 points now. So just starting to open up a little bit of a buffer now, Bledden and Marriage, team number 10 in the red colours. Still incredibly tight though between second and sixth. Only 5 points between second and sixth at the moment. 5 points between first and second. Will Holmes, the white colours, changing there to Cameron Scott. And again, pace going off a little bit. Zach Marriage constantly moving forward in the red colours. .104 to go. Bledden on the front. Agnoletto. Then it's Connolly. Cameron Scott. Alex Hughes. And a real move coming from the team that were dominant early. Well, I shouldn't say dominant. They were prominent. But here they go, the green colours. Team number 7. Ether on the attack. They sit in 5th place at the moment. 8 points. They've gone a few laps out. They really want some points here. Looking for Tompkinson. Chase has been done by Bledden. And Tompkinson about to make the change. He comes in with the blue stripe on the helmet with 1 lap to go. So Tompkinson, the young Queenslander, drives into this last lap. It's a real fight though as they go down. Can he hold on, Tompkinson? Tresize comes up over the top. Oh, and also Ollie Bledden. Oh, was it Zach Marriage, his teammate? So Marriage with a fast finish there. I'm going to wait for confirmation on that one. That was a really good finish from all 3 teams. Well, great finish though for Marriage, regardless of the result, because he was the one that crashed. The only crash we've seen so far, bounced back up very quickly. And in fact, he did get the win. So look at that, great sprinting there, not just from Ollie Bledden, the Olympic champion, but his teammate in Zach Marriage. So they go to 23 points. Leon Tresize go to 16 in 2nd. Agnoletto Moriarty on 12. So the gaps are starting to form now. 4th place for Team 7, the green colours that were the ones that really went on the attack for that sprint. Ether and Tompkinson, they're on 10 points. Now we see her attack. We saw it so often in the women's race. Japan on the attack, picking up points, gaining laps on the field. Here in the men's race again. Japan on the attack. Remember, in terms of the fight for the national champions jersey, they cannot win that. They can win the race, but not the champions jersey. So the infighting might start between the teams in contention, the Aussie teams. 94 to go. The length of the back straight is the advantage Japan have. Team number 13, Matsuda and Kojima. It's Shoei Matsuda that's in the race now. And here's a look back at that previous sprint. Super close as they fan out 3 across the track. From the top down, 1st, 2nd and 3rd though. Japan sitting about half a lap to the back of the peloton is where they need to get to. At 91 to go, the next intermediate sprint as Japan power down the back straight. It's team number 1, Agnoletto and Moriarty, that lead the peloton, but the 5 points are out in front for Japan. That's the bonus of chasing the 20-point lap gain. They pick up the 5 intermediates on the way. Moriarty picked up 3 for 2nd. And team number 1, they really did need that. They've been floundering a little bit in the points. So team 1 picking up 3 for 2nd, but Japan out in front, 5 points for them. Still chasing the peloton. They want to gain a lap. They need the 20 points. That'll put them right to the very top if they can do it. Slightly disorganised back in the main field at 88 to go. Bledden swings up. .87 to go for Japan. Solid change. And they're starting to approach a couple of teams that have been tailed off under the pressure. One of those is Team 12, the under-19s, Hughes and Jones. They were showing such good form early on, but as we get deeper into this 50-kilometre race, now the youngsters are starting to struggle a little bit. Japan, 85 laps to go now, getting closer to the back of the peloton. They have to get past the lap traffic though. If they can just hold this tempo. Now up around the outside. Don't hang around. These are the teams that have been lapped. Team 7, the green team. 2 sprints ago, they were on the hunt. Now they're off the back. So Japan come through, and they are going to do this. They are about to get to the back of the field. 20 points will be added to their tally. They picked up the 5 for the last sprint. The leaders at the moment are on 23. They're about to have 25 in the kitty for Japan, and that's going to take them to the outright lead. And Team 12 and 7 also latching on to the toe ball of Japan to get themselves brought back to the field. Well, job's not quite done yet. Sprint coming up. And sprint coming up. Lap gain has been already given. They've been told they have to get to the field because they rang the bell for the peloton. No points for the Japanese team. Well, I think they may have actually missed the bell for the Japanese teams. They have picked up the 5 points for that. They've given them the lap gain, even though they're just hanging off the back. Mad sprint between the rest of the teams. But the lap gain has been given. Tony Tor, the president of the commissaires panel, is indicating the front of the peloton is with James Moriarty and the peloton itself. So Japan have been already allocated their lap gain. They've got their 20 points. They go straight to the very top. They sit first on 30 points. $26 points for Bledon and Marriage, team number 10 in the red colours. 20 points now for Agnoletto and Moriarty, sitting in third, team number 1 in the blue colours of the Victorian Institute of Sport. That's them on the front right now. So 6 points between third and second, 4 points between second and first. Team 11, Connolly, Declan Tressise sit in fourth place on 17. They're only 3 points away from the bronze medal position. Blannon and Walsh a little bit further back, 5 points in fact. They're in on 12. It's team number 8, the Queenslanders. Another strong performance from a Japanese Madison team here. So difficult to gain a lap on the field when you're on your own. Solo lap for a team is so tough. Deep breath from all of the teams now. Pace has come off a little bit. Try and get some recovery. Think about positioning. Next sprint coming up, 73 laps to go. Kian Watts makes the change to Graham Frisley, team number 3. Our leaders from Japan in second position. Team 2 in the pink and purple colours, Kawano and Watson Palmer. Then it's Bledon and Marriage. And Bledon, first one to go, wants to get himself into good position. He saw Zach Marriage just up around the corner, and he's going to throw him into the sound of the bell as the youngster from South Australia, Zach Marriage, up on the top of the bars in the aero position, but he has Graham Frisley hunting him down. Frisley is fast, very fast. Can he come over the top? The change happened, it got in the way. So Marriage gets the win. And Kian Watts coming in so late in the sprint, that halted the charge of Graham Frisley. 3 points for team number 3. A situation like that, sometimes better to read the race a little bit. And for Kian Watts, Graham Frisley's teammate, It might have been better to accelerate to get past the finish line. Give Graham an actual opportunity to get over the top of Zach Marriage and get the points, then make the change. Make the change in the position that he did. You're guaranteeing they were not going to get back over the top of Zach Marriage. This is where the points were won, though, as Bledden came over the top, threw Marriage in front. I think right here, Graham Frisley was thinking, I've got this in the slipstream. Not to be. 66 laps to go. Tresize leads through. Connor Lay now comes in, his teammate. They sit in 4th place on 17 points. It's only 1 point now separating the top 2 teams. Japan, Matsuda and Kojima on 32. Bledden and Marriage in the red colours on 31. 9 points, though, is the gap now back to Agnoletto and Moriarty in 3rd, team number 1. Plenty of points still on offer, but this is looking very good for Bledden and Marriage in terms of the national title. Connor Lay getting prepared, hand up on the bars, and a change as Declan Tresize comes in, Queenslander. Not too far to the next sprint. I did see just out of camera shot Graham Frisley doing as I mentioned earlier, just speeding up when he's out of the race so that he doesn't come in too early for this next sprint. But unfortunately, Cam Watts has put him in a long way back, so they will not be in contention in the purple colours. It's Tresize, now Bledden that takes over. Japan trying to follow them. And a lot of points still on offer here for Ollie Bledden, another 5 going his way. So that will take them to the outright lead. Bledden and Marriage pick up the 5 points, and they'll move ahead now of Matsuda and Kojima. $36 points. 1 point the difference back to Matsuda and Kojima from Bledden and Marriage. So the red colours are really starting to be quite dominant at the front. Here comes an attack, though. We saw one team take an attack, get a lap. That was Japan. And a comfortable sprint in the end for Bledden. The next team to go on the march, Queensland. Tompkinson and Walsh. It was Walsh that started the attack, quickly threw Tyler Tompkinson in. Who's going to chase? There's our overall leaders, Zach Marriage in the red colours, obligated to chase as the race leaders on points. They do not want to see the Queensland team gain a lap on the field. They do not want to see those extra 20 points thrown onto the tally of Liam Walsh and Tyler Tompkinson. So Ollie Bledden now not asking for any assistance into the tuck position for Liam Walsh, the Australian Omnium champion. He won that title yesterday on these boards here in Darebin. And now Bledden swings up. Walsh continues on, but Ollie Bledden looked for some assistance, and look at this. This has caused some hesitation. Can Tompkinson follow through? Walsh looks strong. What can Tyler do? Weaving up and down the track, the main field. This looks good for the Queensland combo. It's Connor Lay on the front. About to make the change to Declan Tresize. Oh, Tompkinson starting to labour. 51 laps to go. Walsh needs to pick up the 5 points because there's a real chase coming from Declan Tresize behind. He's closing. Another look over the shoulder from Walsh. So Liam Walsh has done enough to get the 5 points. Swings up, in fact. Gets the 5. Moriarty with the 3. Tresize with the 2. So a big effort from the Queensland team. Good to get the 5 points, but it was the lap gain, the 20 points that they were really after there. Ollie Bledden and Zach Marriage, though, not allowing that to happen. Early chase. Team 7 on the front again. Good to see them. Kurt Ether struggling off the back before, but they're back in this race. 48 laps to go. 2 points the margin now. 37 points for Bledden and Marriage over Japan on 35. Agnoletto Moriarty on 24. $13 points is the margin that Agnoletto and Moriarty need to overcome if they are going to win the national title. Bledden and Marriage looking really strong with 46 laps to go. Frisley, Tresize. And it's Watson Palmer in the pink and purple. Kojima from Japan in third position. Frisley, and now Marriage changes to the white helmet of Ollie Bledden. So the red helmet for Zach Marriage, if you haven't already picked that up. White helmet for Ollie Bledden in the red South Australian Sports Institute colours. They'll come around to get 42 laps to go. You can see Connor Lay constantly looking over his shoulder. He's getting himself ready for this next sprint. He knows where Declan Tresize is. Bell will sound the next time they come. Starting to put the pressure on. Agnoletto trying to move up in the dark blue colours. Ooh, really close then. Just off camera there, but Declan Tresize had to turn himself inside out to get under the wheel of a rider that was not in contention to get down to make the change, and Tresize brushes that aside to go on and pick up the 5 points here. Wow, that was super, super close, I must say. Amazing that these riders are able to manoeuvre around and not touch down. Only the one crash that we've seen so far, and that was Zach Marriage. 5 points though, great sprint win there for Declan Tresize. Some more points were gained though by Bledden and Marriage. So they have a 3-point advantage now over Japan. $38 points versus 35. Agnoletto and Moriarty pick up a couple of points as well. They go to 26. 12 points is the gap between them and the leaders. So you see how tight the change was from the two on the front, Connor Lay and Declan Tresize, and that was just because Declan, as he was about to come down to make the change, got blocked by one of the riders that is well out of contention here. Wasn't concentrating enough, that other rider, and really had to just dive down the track at the very last second. Fortunate they were able to keep it up. 35 to go now here in the Australian National Madison Championship. James Moriarty high on the track. Zach Marriage willing to follow. Not wanting to go through just yet, and they'll get 34 to go. Start to think about the next sprint. Double points on the last sprint, remember. Only the one lap has been gained, and that was for Japan, Matsuda and Kojima. They now sit in second place on 35 points, 3 points away from the leaders Bledden and Marriage. So James Moriarty, we mentioned Connor Lay dominating the individual pursuit at the National Championships. Well, James Moriarty has dominated the silver medal position. He's been really good a number of times. He's trying to set his teammate Blake Agnoletto up for this next one. Connor Lay, the man I just mentioned, they fight it out for the individual pursuit championship of Australia, and Zach Marriage came through the change there as Blake Agnoletto finally got to the hand there of Moriarty. Super dangerous, but they got it done. Kind of leads through. Trezise, another good setup by the team. There's a late change, and here comes Blake Agnoletto over the top of Marriage, over the top of Trezise as well. Possibly, maybe not. Trezise fights back on the inside, gets the 5 points. Good old drag race between Declan and Blake around the final bend. We'll get a good look at it here as Connolly goes over the top of James Moriarty. 1 lap to go here. Moriarty looking for Blake. Marriage in between, and not a happy marriage that one between the two riders. How tight that was. And we get back to live pictures and you'll see one of the Japanese riders has gone down. Second place overall. So there'll be a mad scramble now for Japan. His teammates will have to come into the race when he gets caught by the peloton. And I can tell you what he's doing right now. Really intelligent riding. So while it was Kojima that crashed, Matsuda, who was out of the race at the time, immediately dropped to the bottom of the track and just started riding at a solid tempo, just to stay away from the peloton as long as he possibly can before he must go in. And this is where it happened as Ollie Blenheim went up. Ouch. Kojima. So really unfortunate for him. But we can say they are now back into the race. So really smart riding there from Shoei Matsuda. As soon as he saw his teammate on the deck, he sped up to just spend as long out of the race as possible before the peloton caught up with him. Once you go in, that's it. You have to stay in there. If they start going 60 k's an hour and you haven't got a teammate on the track, you've got to try and keep up. It can really be the leg breaker. And the pressure back in the main field is still on. 22 laps to go as they come through. Next sprint not far away. Bledden over the top of Walsh. And not seeing Moriarty or Agnoletto. James Moriarty is starting to lose the wheel a little bit here. He's drifting out of shot. We just saw a flash of the blue colours. 21 to go, and Marriage will come in. Walsh onto his wheel. And the red colours once again dominating around the final bend. Zach Marriage will pick up the 5 points. Liam Walsh for Queensland goes underneath Tompkinson there. So Tyler Tompkinson choosing not to come in to make the change. So the young Queenslander also under a little bit of pressure at the moment, trying to get some rest. I can tell you what that does. That absolutely kills the legs of his teammate, Liam Walsh. So a couple of teams starting to struggle a little bit here. James Moriarty was losing the wheel before that last sprint. And as soon as I say that, he goes on the attack. So James Moriarty, he seemed to be struggling leading up to that last sprint, but he's gone through underneath. Bledden senses the danger. Team 1 on the attack. The dark blue colours, but they've dropped down to 4th place. Trezise and Lay have gone up into 3rd. Team number 11, they're on 31 points. Agnoletto and Moriarty in 4th on 29 as we look back at the sprints. So they're the teams in 3rd and 4th, but out in front, Bledden and Marriage on 44, Matsuda and Kojima on 35. A lap gain, a crash, and sitting in 2nd place. Team for Japan, tough as nails. Hughes and Jones changing in 2nd position. They've gone down into the negative points, unfortunately, after losing a lap on the field. They're now minus 12. Not too far from the next sprint, the penultimate one, in fact. 13 laps to go, and Declan Trezise is on the hunt. Has Alex Hughes with him. Graham Frisley, Cameron Scott. That's the 4 riders as they line up at 12 laps to go. And the gaps are really starting to open up here. Connor Lay comes in. He'll come around to the sound of the bell here. The big Western Australian Olympic team pursuit champion gets the bell. 11 laps to go. They've brought themselves up into 3rd place overall, and they're only 4 points behind Japan. This will move them into 2nd place outright. Connor Lay picks up the 5. Great riding from him and Declan Tresize. So they go up into the silver medal position. No points for Japan. No points for our leaders in Bledon and Marriage. And I can tell you, no points because they're out the back and chasing for team number 1, Agnoletto and Moriarty. Great setup from Tresize. Throws in the big man, Connor Lay. And here we go, immediately off that sprint. And it's another attack from Japan. The overall leaders, though, are very quick to move. Zach Marriage straight after Japan. So he gets up onto the wheel there. Zach Marriage of Matsuda. Kojima now comes in. 2 teams off the front. Declan Tresize is chasing hard. He has Graham Frisley just behind him. But look at this. The gap has really opened up. Not a great change from Marriage into Ollie Bledon. So Japan really pushing it here. They want the win. Once they gained their lap, they were a little bit shy in the points department. But now they're back in the hunt, chasing 20 for another lap gain. Ollie Bledon, the Olympic champ, finally closes the gap down. Matsuda comes back in. Bledon changes to Marriage. And it's only 4 laps to go. 2 teams well off the front. If it stays like this, you're looking at your gold medalists here, the national champions in Bledon and Marriage, regardless of the final outcome. If these 2 teams fight out this final sprint, but there's a big effort coming though from Agnoletto and Moriarty. Coming around, 2 laps to go now, and James Moriarty gets to them. It was Blake Agnoletto that closed the gap down, threw Moriarty in, and with that momentum, James has gone straight over the top. He has to try and keep it up though. He's coming around to get the bell. Tresize is chasing. Then it's Japan. Sassy after them. Moriarty, he's slowing in this final lap. 10 points on offer at the end of it. They're down in 4th place on 29. They can still get themselves into 2nd. Moriarty fades, but Connor Lay comes over to get the 10. Bledon gets 6 points in 2nd. So the championship will go to Ollie Bledon and Zach Marriage. That's done and dusted. Connor Lay and Declan Tresize, they move into silver. So great finish for them. But it's Ollie Bledon and Zach Marriage, the wonderful combination from South Australia. It was a happy marriage between the 2 South Australians. They're the Aussie champs. Special mention there to Blake Agnoletto. It was a massive gap to the 2 teams in front, and he absolutely motored across. Threw Moriarty in, who flashed over the top of them, but just could not hold on that final lap. Confirmation, 50 points, taking out the title. Bledon and Marriage. 4 points. They really did close it in at the end on 46, only 4 points back. But Connor Lay and Declan Tresize finished strongly. Just didn't have enough to get over the top of Bledon and Marriage. And Japan hold on for 3rd place. 39 points for them. Shoei Matsuda and Naoki Kojima. They really did animate the race as well, so great riding from the Japanese in both the women's and the men's races. On 31 points, it was Agnoletto and Moriarty. A flash at the end from Agnoletto. James unable to finish it off for them. And a big gap back to Noel Blannon and Liam Walsh. They were in 5th place on 21 points, 10 points further back from Agnoletto and Moriarty. But it's South Australian Day here in Victoria. Ollie Bledon, the Olympic team pursuit champion, is now the Australian Madison champ, along with Zach Marriage. What a result. Considering how much we saw the red colours, fascinating to see. It was only 4 points in the end. So Ollie, desperate to pick up some points in that last sprint. Got there, got the job done. Connolly and Declan Trezise, they may have preferred the old distance of 60 kilometres as it was when it first started, the World Championships and the Olympic Games, the Madison. They were really coming on strong towards the end. Alas, 50 Ks, 200 laps, and it's a silver medal for the Queensland and Western Australian combination. There's evidence of the crash for Zach Marriage. No harm done. He'll be really excited to be lining up in the Santos Tour Down Under in January, his hometown. Really good road rider as well, Zach Marriage. Handy on the track, but exceptional on the road. There's Zach on the left. Blake Agnoletto, really great finish for him. James, you can see he was starting to struggle just towards the end. There's a couple of times in the sprints where he was losing the wheel a little bit, but still a great ride from him. They finished in 4th place. The boys in blue. Great camaraderie amongst all of the riders, not just in the national team, but the riders that are in the national squad, just outside of that Olympic group. Really good to see. So much young talent coming through. And what an inspiration to see their teammates win gold at the Olympic Games in world record time in the team pursuit. It's a fantastic Olympics for AusCycling. Grace Brown, the first gold medal won at the Games of all of the sports for Australia in the time trial. And of course, Saya Sakakibara winning the BMX gold medal as well. Brett Aiken on the left, Madison expert, Olympic champion himself. Josh Harrison looks pretty happy, one of the coaches of the South Australian squad. James Glasspool, integral member of that coaching group as well. Teammate Max Libnecht doing some congratulations as well. Really sensational riding. Very close early on, wasn't it? A lot of the teams in the mix for the first 3, 4, 5 sprints, and then the red colours started to take control. Another gold medal to South Australia. It really has been such a strong state at the regular national championships, but also here at the Omnium and the Madison over the years. Always put together a great team pursuit team at the national champs. It's the benefit of having our national program based in Adelaide, so close to the South Australian Sports Institute, and of course the first, or the number of years when the Australian Institute of Sport program went to Adelaide, actually were parked up in at Sassy. We were being looked after by the high performance program within the South Australian Sports Institute. And they've had a fantastic partnership ever since. Benefited their local riders so much over the years. Presentation's not too far away. What a great night it's been for the 127th Austral Wheelrace and National Madison Championships. Thanks so much to Quest of Ivanhoe. It's a place to stay if you're coming down to the northeastern suburbs of Melbourne. Fantastic supporters. If you're watching this, you're into cycling. If you're coming to Melbourne, support our supporters, those that support our programs, and Quest at Ivanhoe have done so now for a number of years. Our national coaching staff now as well. Tim Decker on the left, coached the team Pursuit to Gold, and Glenn O'Shea. As we see, congratulations from Blake Agnoletto, the two Bendigo boys in Tim Decker and Blake. But Glenn O'Shea, the coach of our bunch races, so the Omnium and the Madison at the elite level. There's Ollie's mum congratulating Zach. And perhaps the best dressed mechanic that I've seen for quite some time on the left screen there. Very fancy attire. Happy South Australians, that trio. Gleddens and Zach Marriage. Stick with us though. We do get to show our appreciation by hanging around and watching the presentations, get to see their faces for the first time. They haven't, they ride with their glasses or their visors so often. Sometimes it is only at the presentations where you really get to look at the young faces, the youthful faces of so many of these riders. There's Wayne McCartney, I mentioned him earlier on. 1988 Olympic bronze medalist in the team pursuit and the president, if I'm not mistaken, of the Norwood Cycling Club. Zach rides for Kilkenny, but his teammate Ollie Bledden is a member of Norwood. So a very happy president in Wayne McCartney. Declan Trezise, he really came on strong, didn't he, towards the end of that race. Fantastic riding from him. Now, the chap that's chatting with the clipboard, that's chatting to Zach Marriage, I can tell you, he's from the Australian Sports Anti-Doping Agency, ASADA. Great to see them here. So they'll be doing anti-doping control for our national champions. Ensuring clean sport, which is fantastic. Just getting the presentations underway now for the Elite Women's Madison Championship. And third in the race, but they are the national champions. Team number 11, Kira Will and Keely Bennett. Of course, internationals unable to don the national champions jersey. They can win the race, of course, as they did so dominantly. Kira Will on the left and Keely Bennett on the right, the National Road Series individual winner as well. Keely had a sensational 2024. What a way to cap it off as the National Madison champion. And Kira Will getting her medal. They were 6 points behind Hong Kong, picking up second place. Zi Wing Lee and also Wing Yi Leung. So medals possible to win, but not the national champions jersey. Japan, though, what a performance from them. 71 points in the end. Just extraordinary. Suyaka Uchino and Mizuki Ikeda. And they look like they could go out and do it again. Japan, Hong Kong, and the Australian champions. Kira Will from New South Wales and Keely Bennett from here in Melbourne, Brunswick Cycling Club. And shout out to the Lidcombe Auburn Cycling Club for Kira Will. Photographer extraordinaire, Con Cronus. He's been a very busy man lately. Does a lot of photography for the news as well as sport. A lot of A-League. Been around the National Road Series and AusCycling events for so many years. Fantastic guy, Con. Becticello, coach of champions. Great photo. Louise Jones just coming through. She's the race director for this event and for all of our national championships on the Velodrome. Former Commonwealth Games gold medalist herself from Wales, now based out of Brisbane. And the man in the black shorts, Japan, that's Daniel Giesiker, who is Swiss, but part of the coaching staff for the endurance program for Japan. He was a sensational road time trialer in his day. I actually had a poster of Daniel on my wall. I'm very happy to meet him at the World Championships in Glasgow last year. Great to see the smiley faces. We can come to the men's presentation now. And Japan once again represented, much to the delight of Daniel Giesiker. Third place, Shoei Matsuda and Naoki Kojima. Finished on 39 points. John Nicholson doing the presentation, former world sprint champion. And there's the aforementioned Louise Jones handing up the medals. Silver medal going to the big man from Western Australia, Connor Lay, rides for the Peel District Cycling Club. And his teammate from Queensland, Darling Downs Cycling Club, Declan Tresize. Four points was the margin at the end. That really did close down dramatically in the closing stages. But Oliver Bledon and Zach Marriage, good enough to hold on. Sensational ride from them. Ollie both from Adelaide, Norwood and Kilkenny cycling clubs. Two Olympic champions from Paris this year on the podium, Connor Lay and Ollie Bledon. Yeah, handshake for the two champs and teammates. The best in the business, gold, silver, bronze, National Madison Championships. Thanks for AusCycling, thanks to Quest Ivanhoe. The 127th Austral Wheelrace and Madison Championships Carnival event. It's been a big few days with the Omnium over the last couple of days as well. Great combination. one happy marriage. Well, it's been a sensational night of racing. Great big couple of days, actually, it must be said, with the Omnium and all the other events that are happening. Great to see so many international riders here with the Kirins also. The international flavour. They all gained so much from it. A lot of New Zealanders, but also Hong Kong, thanks to Anthony Peden and Jason Niblett, the coaches of Japan and Hong Kong, for bringing their squads over here. Really does bolster the competition for all of the riders. And made for some very competitive racing indeed. Bledden, Marriage, Will and Bennett. 2024 AusCycling National Madison Champions. I can see in this photo that's been taken, I'm not sure if we can zoom in, guys, or not, but there's a photo there with Brett Aiken, my Madison partner from the Olympic Games. There he is. One of my great friends from Sydney Olympic Games, where we won together. A lot of talk about what's happening with that velodrome, unfortunately. We hear that the New South Wales Institute of Sport will not be running a track cycling program going forward, and that has put a lot of doubt over what's going to happen with that very cherished Sydney Velodrome where Brett and I won our gold medal. And let's hope that we can keep the track and keep the facilities so that all those riders in our largest city can actually get onto a world-class velodrome. Fingers crossed for the future there. Thanks everybody for joining us. It's been a fantastic day of racing here in Melbourne for the Quest Ivanhoe 127th Austral Wheelrace. The Kirin racing was, as always, spectacular. You throw a wheel race like the Austral, the oldest bike race in the world. You throw the Madisons and Kirins together. That's what track racing is about. It's fast, it's furious, and it's so entertaining. It's been a pleasure to call it for you once again. The next big thing on the calendar for us, though, as we go fast past Christmas and into the holiday season, we head to Perth for the Road National Championships. The first time we've been in Perth for quite a long time, 21 years in Ballarat. We now make the move 3 years over to the west for the National Road Championships. It's going to be new. We'll see new champions crowned. It's going to be sensational. I hope you can join us at the start of January for the Road National Championships, and it's all live on SBS.
And also Japan, 85 laps to go now, getting closer to the back of the paddock.